I recently bought a brand new car, and if I told you that at least part of the reason why I decided to upgrade wasn't because I wanted Apple CarPlay, well, that would be a lie. And if you're rocking an older car at this time, then you also probably want to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in it. And the device we're gonna look at today is something that's gonna save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. It is the CarPodGo T3 Pro. And this is something that is super simple to hook up to your car to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. But is it as good as just getting a brand new car or installing a whole new stereo system? Well, that's what we're here to find out. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and welcome back to the Spare Tech Room, where I try to help you make better tech choices. Now, before we get going, in full disclosure, CarPodGo did send me this device to test out, but it's actually something that I've really been wanting for some time, specifically for my girlfriend's car, which is a 2016 Jeep Compass. So it really kind of all worked out for me. They are not paying me to make this video at all, and they have no say over what I say in it. This is all going to be my own personal opinion. If at any point in this video you do want to check out the T3 Pro a little closer, or if you want to pick one up for yourself, I'm going to drop a few links in the description box below. Those are going to give you the best price available for this device. And of course, if you use those links, it helps out the channel. So I appreciate it. So let me tell you a little bit about how this device works. Then I'm going to show you everything that came in the box with it. And then finally, we'll actually go out to my girlfriend's car so I can show you how to set it up and what it looks like once it's running. And spoiler alert, it is super easy to set up, and it runs really smoothly. So when it comes to upgrading for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you have a few different options, kind of as we've mentioned already. One, of course, you can just get a brand new car, which is going to be the most expensive option by a lot. The other option that you have is to just get a new stereo system installed in your car, and that can also be pretty pricey and can take a lot of time and energy, but you can get a professional to get it done. And if money's not really a problem for you, then sure, you can go that route. But where the T3 Pro comes in is actually this really cool sweet spot of not being very expensive. And the way it works is effectively as if it was its own tablet that connects to your car and to your phone all over Bluetooth. Basically, you stick it on your dash, you plug it into the power, and you've got an 8.9-inch display with your music, your navigation, your phone calls and text messages, basically everything you could want. So I've, of course, already unboxed this and used it. So let me show you everything that you get in the box if you pick one up for yourself. First up, of course, is the actual display, the tablet itself. As I mentioned, it's got an 8.9-inch screen, I want to say, and it's about 720p. We'll set that aside for now, though, and look at everything else that comes in the box. So you've got a USB-C to, I don't know what you call this. We used to call it a cigarette lighter port back in the day, but cars don't have cigarette lighters anymore. I guess I'm showing my age. But real simple, USB-C into the back of the device, and then this plugs into your car. It also has a little USB-A output here, so if you needed to charge maybe your phone or any other device off of it, you can, and a little on-off switch so you can power it down if you need to. This is the most important piece. This is what pretty much everyone is going to need if they decide to use this. Then you have a few optional things here. So you've got a USB-C to USB-A little adapter here that you can use for doing updates. Of course, we'll look at that later, but you can do software updates with a USB drive. You can plug it right into it. You've also got different pieces here. This is to help you with if you want to use the backup camera, which is another thing that comes with it. So you've got this backup camera that you can attach. I haven't set mine up yet because it's a little complicated to do, but if you want to, you've got that there, and that will go right into the tablet. You've got also a cable that comes along with that, which will run from the device all the way to that backup camera at the back of your car. This is, I think they said like 6 meters or something like that. It's very long. It's long enough for most typical cars, I believe. Aside from that, you've got the suction cup that will attach to your dashboard. So this is just a little arm here. If you've ever attached any like phone mounts or anything like that, it's pretty much the same exact thing. Suction cups right to the dash. And then, of course, you mount the device right to this ball head over here at the end. So you've got that. You also have a kind of more flexible pad that you can use if your dashboard is more curved. So you can attach this as well. And there's a few other mounting pieces and things like that that you can use depending on what your setup is. You get all of that here. And I believe this is for Bluetooth adapters. So if you don't have Bluetooth built into your car for whatever reason, you can use this if you have a much older car. But you've got that as well. So yeah, there's lots of mounting options, lots of different setup options. And that's one of the great things about this device is it is something that you can just buy, and whatever setup, whatever car you have, it should work with it. Now, as much as I'm gonna regret it because it's way too hot outside, let's run out to the car real quick so I can show you how easy it is to set this up, and we'll look at some of the features that comes with it. All right, so this is gonna be a super quick part. We are in the car right now. I'm gonna make this fast because it is way too hot out here, and my lovely girlfriend is holding the camera. So this is the arm that I showed you earlier that comes with it. You just remove this little sticky bit at the bottom there, this little plastic piece, and you're gonna slap this onto the dash. Once you do, there's a little switch here on the back that you will press down that will lock it into place. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Just find a good spot, centered, lay it down on there. So you press that down into place, flip the switch in the back, and that should lock it down. That's not going anywhere. Then you have this ball head in the front. Now there's a little adjustment here where you can extend this out further, and an adjustment on the side that you can change the pivot. But on the actual tablet on the back, there's this magnetic piece, which is on there really, really strong. So you've got that. That will lock into place right there. And then you just unscrew this a bit to make it nice and loose. And then you can pop it onto that ball head. So we'll do that. Now you can always adjust the placement on here. Right now it's kind of stuck out, but we can move that back. We can move it around wherever we need it. Then we're going to take our USB-C, plug that into the back here, and plug the other end into our little cigarette lighter power outlet. So let me do that real quick. In fact, I'm going to plug it into the back of here first, because otherwise it can be difficult to do if you can't see where you're going. So we'll remove this real quick, and we find the power plug on the back, slide that into there. Also back here you have an audio port if you wanted to run your 3.5 millimeter cable. There's an aux port in here, as well as a USB port, so you can do updates. But we'll go ahead and get that connected. Put this back on the bracket, tighten it back down, and you can run this cable behind the faceplate here if you want to kind of make it neater, or you can just plug it right into here, and I'll loosen this up a bit later, not a big deal. Once you get it plugged in, we're going to turn the car on, so it's going to get a little noisy in here. But as soon as you fire up the car, this will launch and bring you right into your Apple CarPlay. Just click on that. It'll connect to my phone here in just a second. Make sure your Bluetooth is on. And there we go, we're in. And that's it. So let's head back inside so we can wrap this whole thing up, but pretty straightforward as far as the installation is concerned. Okay, so now setting this up was incredibly easy. You basically fire up the device, you connect to Bluetooth, so you'll select the Bluetooth option from here, and then you'll want to connect your phone. I've already got mine synced up, of course, but once you have that connected, it will pretty much automatically set up your CarPlay for you or your Android Auto, and then you'll have this kind of home screen that if you're familiar with CarPlay or Android Auto, you've seen this before. So from now on, anytime I get in the car and fire it up, it will automatically connect to this device and get it launched up in a couple seconds. Now, if you want to get into the settings for the CarPod Go, you just select on the app here from your home screen, and that's going to bring up a few different options. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth settings, you've got brightness settings. I'm not sure what this one is. If we click on that, this is kind of the system settings here. So you have your language that you can change the date and time. You can add or remove different Bluetooth devices from here. You can make some display settings changes. So you can activate night mode or set a time for night mode to activate. So if you want it to switch on at a certain time of day, you can set that here. You can adjust your brightness here as well. So you can set up your day brightness and your night brightness. Also turn on or off the light sensor. There are wallpaper options, which is pretty cool. It comes with 3 different wallpaper options built in. There's also a logo option, which is a lot of fun because by default, this will have the CarPod Go logo, but you can select whatever vehicle type that you have here and make sure that when it launches up, it has that logo instead, just to kind of give you a little more, I don't know, a feel as if it's something that's supposed to be built into your car. So you've got that. I'll switch it to Jeep because that's what we have here. And you set that logo. You also have your CarPlay settings in here as well. So right drive is if you're driving on, of course, the right side of the car. You have the 60 FPS mode, which I have on by default. And there's the 10-second timeout feature, which will just return this to CarPlay. I'm going to turn that off because we're in the settings right now and I don't want it to just swap back to CarPlay, but you do have that feature in here as well. There are volume settings where you can adjust the different volume levels from media that you might be playing, so music or podcast, your navigation sounds, your phone sounds. You can adjust the different settings for that. You've also got audio output, and this is really cool because when you have your phone connected to the CarPlay on this, you can have the audio come through either the Bluetooth in your car if you have Bluetooth, but then you would have to set up the Bluetooth from your phone also to your car. So it's kind of split. So it's going to this and your car, which is fine. You can also go through an aux cable if you want to do that. You can go through the speaker that's built into this device, which I don't think anybody would really use that. But really the easiest way to set this up is to just go through the FM setup. So you just click on the FM here. You can select a specific station, and then you just turn your station on your car to whatever this one is, and it'll sync up. It's not going to be the best audio, but honestly, it's pretty good. I was testing it out myself, and there's that slight kind of fuzzy sound that you get just typically from listening to the radio, but it's really not that bad. If you want the easiest possible setup with the least amount of wires and least amount of connectivity, that's the way to go. Otherwise, if you have Bluetooth, I would definitely recommend doing that. Aside from that, you just have some system information here and a system update and a factory reset option. Of course, for the system update, you're going to want to use that USB connection and get the update from CarPodGo's website, which they usually have updates pretty frequently for these devices. So it's really cool to have. Aside from that, if you just go back into your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto, depending on which one you have, you're going to have all the typical stuff here. You can make phone calls, you can navigate using Maps or Google Maps. You have all your calendar stuff here. Pretty much everything you can want is going to be built into this. So it is just as good as my brand new Mazda CX-5 that I have. It's actually quite a similar screen to the one that comes in the Mazda. So it's pretty cool how similar this is to that. Overall, there's a lot I really dig about the T3 Pro here. The screen, I think, is plenty big enough. It's bright enough. The 60 FPS feature on here, I think, is great. It's very smooth. The mount is incredibly easy to set up and very strong. It holds this with no problem. I like that there's multiple ways to connect your audio depending on what you want to do, and that I have the option to install that backup camera if I decide to do that down the road. And really, the most important thing is that it just works. You set this up, connect to the Bluetooth, and you're good to go. So do I recommend that you buy a CarPodGo T3 Pro? Honestly, yeah. I kind of do. Look, if you have a car that is maybe a bit older, but is still working, maybe you have it paid off, and you're tempted to upgrade just because you want some of those new bells and whistles, I think this is a worthwhile thing to purchase to kind of hold off buying a whole new car. It genuinely makes my girlfriend's old Jeep feel like a much, much newer car. If you have any questions about the T3 Pro that I didn't answer in this video, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. Again, this channel is all about helping you make better tech choices. So I'm not going to always just point you to whatever the most expensive product is. Instead, I want to make sure that whatever you're buying is worthwhile. And I think this is one of those things. So let me know your thoughts, your questions, your comments all down below, as well as if there's any other products that you want me to test out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Spare Tech Room. Be good.